Whitlock and Wiley, joined once again by LeVar Arrington and LA rapper Glasses Malone. Time for the most fearless discussion of the day. Colin Kaepernick is writing a memoir. It will be a collection of his best retweets and likes from Twitter, a collage of photos of him wearing dashikis, cornrows, and afros, and a preview of his line of Kunta Kinte t-shirts and overpriced Nikes. I kid, I don't know what's going to be in the book. My belief is Kaepernick doesn't know either. It will be ghostwritten and funded by the people determined to promote the symbol formerly known as Colin Kaepernick. The promotional campaign for Kaepernick's book and publishing company kicked off this morning on the pages of USA Today. My longtime peer and friend Jared Bell landed the exclusive interview of Kaepernick promoting the memoir. Bell wrote that Kaepernick will announce the book deal today. Bell said he exclusively interviewed Kaepernick on Tuesday. Bell is one of the best football writers of the past 2 decades. When it comes to Kaepernick, however, Bell is more advocate than journalist. His piece in USA Today reads more like a marketing agency-approved press release than a news story. Bell's prose turned the silent symbol into the offspring of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Abraham Lincoln, and T'Challa from the Black Panther movie. Take a listen to this Cap quote. "I learned early on that in fighting against systematic oppression, dehumanization, and colonization, who controls the narrative shapes the reality of how the world views society. It controls who's loved, who's hated, who's degraded, and who's celebrated." Here's another Cap quote. "I realize being able to control your narrative and tell your story the way you want to is very important. The manipulation, the colonization, the distortion of stories, narrative, history has been done forever. This is a way for me to be able to counteract that and begin to decolonize that and centralize the narrative of not only myself, but other Black and brown writers and authors." I'm shocked this dude didn't say 7 years ago, "I had a dream that one day we would be hoodwinked, bamboozled, and led astray to Wakanda." Cap goes 4 years without talking, and now in an exclusive interview with USA Today, he's regurgitating Ta-Nehisi Coates' talking points in a one-on-one interview. I'm skeptical, very skeptical. I'm disappointed Jared Bell didn't provide any details on where the interview took place. Was it on the phone, in person, were there handlers around, cue cards? You land an interview with a reclusive newsmaker, you provide readers some context and of the setting and how it happened. You also ask a couple of difficult questions. Cap is a polarizing public figure. USA Today is a publication for a wide cross-section of America. This isn't a 1970s profile piece for Jet magazine. Cap, you think returning to the NFL is realistic after you sued the league, smeared the league as racist, and wore a Kunta Kinte t-shirt to a job interview arranged by the commissioner? Cap, if the league is as racist as you say, why do you want to rejoin it? I don't have a lot of enthusiasm to read the memoir someone else is going to write for Colin Kaepernick. It's just going to be more propaganda to prop up a symbol who has trouble speaking for himself. All right, Marcel, let's get us rolling. Thinks Cap's book will be worth reading.
Not for me, but it's gonna sell. Ooh, Michelle Obama's your memoirs, you better move that off the shelf. Cap's coming. And I respect the fact that he's doing it with his own publishing company that he's starting. So this is gonna be the first release, obviously. And I love the fact that he understands that value. I don't respect that a guy who in the last 4 years hasn't given 4 interviews is now gonna go on a press tour, because I sold a book, a best-selling book too, Never Shut Up. And guess what it is? A lot of questions, Q&As, and interviews. But now he couldn't do that for the message. He couldn't do it for his own personal reasons of being a symbol of the message, but he could do it for the profit. He could do it for the book. That's a little disingenuous for me. Will it be worth reading? I'm not so curious, because I'm not so curious of his mental framework. I'm not so curious about how he got to this arrival moment and to this place. And I'm not so sure that he will be so forthright in telling all the reasons. So for me, it's not gonna be worth reading, but if someone wants to get into his mental architecture, go ahead. I'm not gonna diss it, but it ain't gonna be on my shelf.
I'll read it. I'll read the book. Is it worth reading? I don't know if I really care about Kaepernick's. I don't care about Kaepernick's opinion, but I'll read the book because it's this roller coaster that's been going on with him for years and years. I would like clarity, and I'm praying that there is clarity. I don't know if there's going to be clarity. No interviews. We have conversations about transparency, but nobody can ask questions. I don't know if we'll ever get to the bottom line, so hopefully the book does it.
He's a polarizing figure.
Yeah.
And there's no questioning that. I would read the book, and I would want to read the book because I would want to know what type of journey he's going to take his reader on. There's been so many different storylines that have been connected to Cap. He's a part of our culture. He's a part of our community, the football community. I would like to see where he's going to go with it. What's the context? I'd like to see if his path is all over the place, if it's all in the forest, or has he, charted a course from point A to point B. For what it's worth, people could not like him. There could be people that love him, people that are detractors of him. But one thing's for certain, he has stayed consistent to what his plan is and to who he believes he is and what he represents. And for that, this could be a golden opportunity for him to actually shed light on people who think not so highly of him. And so that's an opportunity, and that would be enough for me to pique my interest.
I hate to connect this in any way to Snoop, but it's like one of the things I liked about Snoop's apology and almost everything he's done in this Gayle King situation, he spoke for himself, just him and a camera, and it sounded real and authentic. When I hear Kaepernick in this organized interview with no tough questions, systematic oppression, dehumanization, and colonization, the few times I've heard Cap speak, he doesn't sound like this. The few times. He doesn't put together, and again, having been a journalist who takes people's quotes, people, even the smartest people, don't speak in these types of complete sentences during an interview.
That's true.
Even the smartest people. Barack Obama doesn't do what Cap allegedly did here in this interview. And so I think Glasses and Marcellus, you make a great point. There's all this, Cap's pro-transparency. But he's the most secretive and reclusive leader we've ever seen in the world.
Maybe he's controlling his emotions.
You are a fool for all of you.
He waited and curved it right back there. That was pretty special.
But then Marcellus's point that I hadn't thought of was like, you would do no talking when you had the entire spotlight and a chance to speak out against police brutality and the underserved community and how they're mistreating the criminal justice system. You would do no talking then. But now that you have a book to promote and a publishing company to promote, you started with USA Today and you're about to go on a campaign.
Oh, you better. And he is. And you know what? It's sad because it's just more protest for personal profit, just like the Nike shoes. And then what's going out there? Oh, one shoe store is giving away part of the proceeds. Not Nike, a shoe store. So I catch all these little things. And then he went mute for martyrdom, so everybody could be like, oh, I don't know, but the mystery is the martyrdom. Come on, man. He says right now in this softball Q&A that he wants to control the narrative now. It's 2020. Sorry, brother. In 2014, the Uninterrupted started and the Players Tribune. And their whole mantra was to control the narrative for the athlete, especially the black athlete. And this dude's gonna come out 6 years later and talk about, oh, I wanna control my narrative. And then the sound bites that you just said, the quotes. If you've read the autobiography of Malcolm X, which I think we all have, and seen Black Panther, you're gonna say what he just said right there. It's so simple, it's so mainstream. Colonization? What the hell?
Colonizing. Yeah, literally. I did think Black Panther. I was like, damn, he read the Black Panther.
And so, look, I don't like to totally boo-boo on him, but I do question when he asks, why do I do it at this moment? Why not earlier in my career? A lot of the questions surrounding me, everyone wants to know now.
Can I take the other side of this?
Oh, I
for
hope.
2 seconds?
I need it.
Just to provide some possible perspective, is it far out to think that he has thought this out and really vetted this out to a point of where now it's like, once you put something in a book, and you've written a book, I don't know, have you ever done a book? Have you ever done a book?
No.
I have not done one.
I have, but I didn't. Like somebody ghost wrote mine. Like
Once it's on the paper, once it's there to be read, you can't recant that. You can't take it back. Even if you have to, or if you're forced to because something comes out, it's there. So if you're going to speak in those terms where it's definitive on what it is that you're standing for and what you believe in, why not think it through? Why not plan it through and talk it out and have a business associated
Because it may be
with
manufactured and perfectly crafted instead of authentic and what you really did it for. You know what you did it for.
But what if he can find authenticity? But what if he can find authenticity within that manufactured deal? Like, I'm just looking at it. I just want to see if he produces this book, can we feel like there is authenticity connected to Colin? Because I haven't felt like there has been.
I'll just say this.
But is it possible?
Sound a lot different than these quotes we got here.
I'm about to say.
About decolonization.
That's
again.
fair.
If you're going to speak to kids from their neighborhoods, don't come with the decolonization and all, dehumanization and all these big buzzwords that you done looked up. And last thing, and we don't have a lot of time, but again, I don't think he's in control of his narrative. Okay. I think other people are in control of Kaepernick. He's been a symbol being used by people with a political agenda to take on football as part of it, but also to take on the patriarchy. I believe he's just a prop.
Transparency, no. Is he controlling his narrative? No. The whole campaign lacks transparency. That's controlling your narrative. Like, he's putting out what he wants to put out, but we just losing a level of authenticity. So is it him saying these things? I don't know. But I know it's not transparent at all, and that scares me.
I know he has help. He certainly has resources, and he has a community that's surrounding him that helps him come up with it. And I think people benefit if he can keep his cause strong and can continue to build it out. So, but I do think that he's controlling.
His cause is Cap, you know that.
But it is. But I do believe that he's leading the charge on what he wants his narrative to be.
Yeah, well, for me, I think that the lack of transparency and the different consultation that he's under the guidance of now, that's different than Dr. Harry Edwards, who initially consulted him, is not in that same position right now. You can see the shift in position and the shift in this protest. So, man, look, I just keep it 1,000. I already know the story of the suburban tryhard, bro. I already know what that looks like, who always get questioned and overcompensates. I know what that looks like.
Read that book in grade school.
Read that, man, saw that book. And
that's what I meant.
How transparent is it gonna be? You say, why did I start it? Not earlier, and when I was a different persona. Is he gonna go there?
With the Kaepernicks?
Is he gonna go there? Is he really gonna go there? Because we know, look, you wanna talk football up here? Or Alden Smith, anybody want to talk? This is a book. You don't want to read my book? My book talks bad about me and good. Alden Smith, Tanessa, to teammate. We going there? If we gonna go there, I'm reading this book. If we ain't going there,
it might be there.
All right, coming up. The Lions just denied that they're trying to trade Matthew Stafford, but it is actually time to move on from their longtime quarterback. We get into that next.